experts searched Magic Valley far and wide for the proper location for Channel 11.
And at last it was settled. Jerome County, where land was cheap, and there were a few young men just getting out of Jerome High School who could actually read. Perhaps they'd make engineers someday.
And the cornerstone was laid near Jerome.
Of course, the offices and studios were later moved to the south side of the river when Sears and Roebuck promised their entire year's budget if the move was made.
Many important people attended the cornerstone ceremonies and the free feed.
And so the humble beginning of Channel 11. Lurking in the future, an electronic marvel. Videotape.
At first, Channel 11 used equipment handed down from stations that had worn it out.
Whenever new hand-me-downs came in, it was a big day. Enthusiastic employees opened the crates, unpacked and assembled the equipment, and had it wired into the building before realizing that what they thought to be a camera was really a couch for Sweet's furniture delivered to the studios by mistake.
But expansions or additions always called for an open house, bringing in many dignitaries.
Hi, folkses.
And finally, when it was run up the pole to see who would salute, everyone would leave.
Anyhow, the free food and drink were gone. Even then, some people were touchy about two words: videotape. Money made people think of and it made them think of videotape.
Channel 11's 700-foot tower has become a landmark in Magic Valley.
But before it was built, there was a small 200-foot tower that had to be cleared away,
One of the engineers took care of that.
thus clearing the way for Channel 11's biggest erection.
At the 350-foot level on the tower, an apple tree was planted.
And even today, an occasional fruit falls to the earth below.
But finally, the tower was finished, and the cry went out.
What hath God wrought?
And it was a time for joy and another open house with free food and many dignitaries.
But eventually the food and drink ran out, and the engineers went back to work in the shadow of their new tower. Did you ever wonder what happened to our transmitter operation? Some people were just still a little bit touchy about videotape.
Summertime, and the competition is keen in the KMVT intramural department.
Sports included football,
Hiking to Albion and the transmitter site,
dog sledding, and cleaning up after dogs,
boating on the Snake River,
Magic Valley Sports Car Club,
horseback riding,
and occasional battles with the Cablevision people. But the biggest event of all was in 1965, the Tournament of Champions. Thousands of people flocked to the Desert Edge Country Club in Jerome to see the immortal Bobby Jones as he took on the best of the KMVT staff. It was a great day for Tommy Walker.
Now watch what Booze does for Delby and his magnificent putting. Now here's Gordon demonstrating one of his finer shots of the day. Into the soup. Now watch the form as Gordon's trailing by 150 strokes that put him into keen competition with the leader, Bobby Jones.
And that drove everybody back to the wagon. Finally, the scores were totaled up.
And many eliminated themselves.
The crowd cheered as Bobby Jones received the trophy for first, second, and for third. And a stretcher and honorable mention for the only KMVT man who finished 18. And naturally, it called for a celebration. Open house, free food, and many guests. And someone also received the annual Videotape Award.
Getting good help has always been a problem, so we ran an ad in broadcasting.
One of our chief engineers was fairly smart but he droodled most of the day, turning out strange combinations of letters. Although they looked pretty, they didn't help our signal.
Finally, a man was hired who could speak engineering and run a smooth department for a scant $250,000 a year.
And he had videotape ideas, too.
As our picture began to look worse, plans were laid for a new transmitter and remodeling of the transmitter building.
New plumbing was installed, including a shower with a soap tray.
The finished job really looked swell. They said it was all plumbing, but it looks like a still.
Then came the new GE transmitter, and finally it was turned on.
So we got Bill Lang to fix it.
And at last, success. Our modern-day miracle worked.
There was some color smearing and some ghosting, but a changeover switch took care of that, and it worked.
So another open house was held with food, fun, free drink for all.
And of course, we had our usual run of important people.
And meanwhile, the salesmen were out horsing around trying to drum up business. They were even trying to sell videotape. I hope this Thyssen special makes it to the bank by 3. Payday and another videotape lesson.
The beautiful Rocky Mountains, or more affectionately known as the rugged South Hills. Our engineers said a good place for a microwave site. Install it. Sort of inaccessible, and it's a long climb to the top. However, as we suspect, the going is a lot easier when you get to the top. And the downward spin, easy as can be. This is how we get foolproof pictures from Salt Lake from CBS, ABC, and NBC.